Hey, everybody, welcome to That's Good Stuff, our show where we review the latest releases in pop culture. And this week, that release was The Fall Guy from Universal Pictures, based on the 70s show, directed by David Leitch. Leitch. And starring Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt. So The Fall Guy is a comedy, action, romantic movie.
Comedy?
I said comedy.
Oh,
Comedy, action, romantic movie. Basically, it stars Ryan Gosling as a stuntman. And like they said at the beginning of our showing, this is kind of a love letter to stuntmen because, of course, the director, the stuntman himself, worked on John Wick. Jared Jonas has co-directed,
yeah.
right? Who's the other director? I don't know.
Chad Stahelski, I think his name.
Okay.
That was Keanu Reeves' stuntman, I think, right?
They both were.
Okay, for The Matrix, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They worked on a ton of movies.
Yeah, and this guy did some Fast and Furiouses, I think, in there.
Bullet Train.
Yeah.
Bullet Train, and Aaron Taylor Johnson's in this too. So Ryan Gosling's playing Aaron Taylor Johnson's stuntman, and he gets injured on a stunt. Man, he falls off
On
a
another
building.
stuntman?
So he's got a rehab. He kind of goes into hiding. Well, not hiding, but he kind of, separates himself from the world, from his
Self-imposed
girlfriend.
exile.
Yeah. His girlfriend was Emily Blunt. What was her original job? I think she was
Cameraman?
Camera operator.
camera operator.
Camera woman.
So he kind of puts their romance on hold while he rehabs. He goes to work as a valet parker in Hollywood. And his life changes when his old producer, what was her name?
Gale.
Gail. Yeah, I knew it was an old-fashioned name. So she calls him up and says, "Hey, we got a movie being directed by Emily Blunt, and she wants you to be in it." So he's like, "Heck yeah!" And he goes and flies over there, and he's the stuntman. But little did he know, she did not recommend him for the movie. Or one of the funny lines is, she didn't approve of him.
Yeah.
He's not approved. So it ends up that Aaron Taylor Johnson's character is missing. So Gail charges Ryan Gosling's character with finding him, and he gets into a deep conspiracy about where this guy's gone, and he's got to figure it out and save the movie so he can save his relationship with his true love. And that is the summary. So we will get into spoilers. I just spoiled the second funniest joke for you. You weren't prepared. But I'll let you guys take it away and just tell me what you thought of The Fall Guy. So let's go to Thomas first.
Okay. I guess right off the bat, I enjoyed this. I didn't think I was going to. Kind of didn't want to see this movie, to be honest with you. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. My parents were a big fan of the original Fall Guy TV show with Lee Majors. I think my mom actually has a huge crush on Lee Majors. Anyway,
She should see this movie.
well, it's funny is that she also had a crush on Eric Estrada, and then married my dad, who looks exactly like Eric Estrada. So 1 out of 2 ain't bad. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with this. I thought it didn't take itself too seriously, but it still was a competent story. I wouldn't say it's the best story, but I had a lot of fun with the characters. Everybody was charming. Nobody kind of stunk. So I mean, because you have like some movies that are like, oh, that's really good, and you have some people like, you shouldn't be in this movie. But everybody was good. I mean, I didn't have any complaints about it. It's a very middle of the road movie, but even some of the action was pretty cool. What was it? The actual fight scene in the apartment, or the whatever it is, That was a lot of fun. I actually enjoyed that when they keep referencing movies that are movie moves. He's like Jason Bourne.
Oh
Fast
yeah.
and Furious. I'm guessing there's a ton of inside jokes for stuntmen for this as well. So I mean, we didn't catch them all, but yeah, I had a fun time watching this. Except for the movie theater experience. So for some reason I got sat by these people. Like the entire row is empty, right? But the last second they buy tickets right next to me. Why is that always the thing? I hate that. And it was this mother and like her two children, I think, but they're like in their 20s. And this mother is very loud, and she's like, "I'll have a beer." And the even like the attendant's like, "What kind of beer? We have like 1,000."
I'll have a beer.
She's like, "What's that Mexican one?" And he's like, "Corona."
It's Cinco de Mayo.
Well, she's like, "Corona," and then the daughter goes like, "I'll have a Dos Equis." I'm like, "Well, at least they're like having variety." But they also get like this popcorn, and at like the very last fight scene, she eats this popcorn, and I don't know if it went down the wrong pipe, tube, or what. But she's like, it got so bad. She took her, like, she couldn't stop coughing. She took her coat and put it over her face. It was like, right next to me. I'm just like,
would you like me to pat you on the back, man?
I know. I'm just like, do you need me to just like,
can we get another A beer over here?
Un beer. And so, yeah, the last fight scene I enjoyed, but it was also, I was very distracted by the person dying right next to me. So, anyway, fun movie experience. Go for it.
Michael?
Go for it too. Yeah, I agree. I think it's a very middle of the road movie. It was fun. I think it was carried by the stars. I think the dialogue wasn't great, and I feel like their kind of chemistry and ability to play off each other carried it more than it should have. I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed definitely the second half way more than the first. I feel like the biggest problem with this movie is the pacing. Like I literally forgot. I'd seen the trailer. You know that there's the whole plot where he has to go find the main actor. Forgot about that because we took so long to get to it. And I was like, oh, this is just a romance movie. Yeah. I'm like, oh, duh, no, there's a whole heist action stuff that happens because we took so long to get there. And there's so much just like this movie probably needs to be about 40 minutes shorter, honestly.
Yeah.
They needed to trim a bunch at the beginning. Like I was Ben and I went to go see it. Yo, what's up?
I will say and it was stupid. It was a cameo, but I loved it when Jason Momoa.
You're going real robotic, Thomas. You're doing this.
You have frozen.
There you go. You're back.
Okay, Jason, we heard
everybody had like a stone cold expression. I'm like, I guess I was the only one laughing at that point.
Yeah, we're like, that wasn't funny at all.
No, but when Jason Momoa showed up at the last part, I was laughing my ass off. I don't know why I found that so funny. But
I knew they were going to get a celebrity. Yeah, no. I thought it was going to be Tom Cruise, and I was going to be
kind of hoping for it.
Yeah.
Well, apparently they brought Lee Majors back to do the sound or do the song again, which I thought was kind of cool. The Fall Guy.
I think he had a cameo too.
Yeah, that's what I heard. But
yeah, he was at the end, right? He's the
cop. Okay. Yeah. I was assuming. I didn't know who anyone was. I've never seen the show, so him and that lady with him. I'm guessing they were both on it.
That does look like a movie Jason Momoa would make.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Some aliens like in cowboy. Dude. Yeah, space cowboy, 100%.
I asked Jared, is that movie better than Rebel Moon?
Dude,
probably.
Honestly, yeah.
That's what I was thinking the whole time was, I mean, they kept referencing it as though it was Doom, but I kept thinking, I'm like, no, this is Rebel Moon, just the alternate version.
How come fake movies in movies always look like bad?
Cool. Oh, bad? I thought it looked fun.
Yeah.
It looks like bad fun, though. Yeah, I feel like we'd enjoy it more than it'd be better than Rebel Moon. I think
they just needed a solid third act, man. They just had a problem. Couldn't get that third act
get together.
Out.
Anyway, but yeah, so like I was saying, the pacing was super bad because even small scenes like the one where he comes back. Quick spoilers, but he comes back and he's in a big costume. Won't say why, and they're trying to shove him into a bathroom. And it just went on so long, and then they even continues like, rub me with soap and I'll squeeze through. I'm like, that should have been cut, quick in and out. But it was probably 30 seconds, 20, I'll give it 20 seconds of that. And I'm like, there's just so much of this that didn't land properly because the pacing was just so get there. I don't know. It was interesting. I will say the last 20 minutes of the movie, I had to pee more than I've ever had to pee in my entire life. So I'm just wiggling my foot, and then the credits start, and it's like all the background scene stunt stuff, and then the post credit scene. So I'm just like, I was dying. I was dying in my seat there. I had to go
Yeah,
so
was
Was there a
badly.
post credit scene?
There was a
There
post.
was
like
a
a mid-credit scene.
Yeah, pretty much mid.
Oh, I was leaving because I didn't
Yeah.
like.
You didn't
Woman
want to
was
be
dying
accused for
next to
murder
me.
for the woman.
Yeah, exactly.
This movie
like
felt like
Hughes.
it would never end. I think
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought
it
it was
just
gonna
kept
be like,
going.
I thought it was gonna be one of those quick like they kiss and then credits. I thought it was gonna be one of those like, the
Yeah.
things float up
Yeah.
and then cuts, which I feel like fit the movie a little better. But yeah. So
Yeah, it was weird because they're like, I thought they were gonna wrap it up, and then it's like, oh, stuntman fight scene now. It's like,
We kept,
okay.
almost getting up, and then something would happen.
All right.
That was my main thing. Was just the pacing was that was the biggest drawback for this movie. But yeah,
I
guys, go
agree.
ahead.
Jonah?
Pretty much the same. It's a very likable movie. I'll call it. It feels like sort of like an '80s kind of just romantic action movie. Very much, just kind of a time waster, but it's very funny. It's just a lot of action and stuff. Like Michael said, the pacing is very weird in this movie, and it could be they're trying to go for like an '80s thing because '80s movies are a lot slower paced than like nowadays movies. But yeah, like scenes go on in this movie forever. Like, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, because sometimes it kind of feels like they're stretching the joke out like too long. It's
Well-
like that joke was fine, don't push it. You're going a little too far.
You're talking about like them dragging it out when Gosling dresses up in that alien costume or whatever. She beats the absolute
For a long
Oh,
time.
I know,
Yeah.
man.
Goes in
a long
on him.
time. Like he kept going,
Stabs
and then
him.
like stabs him. I was like, oh my god.
Trying to kill him.
I like that scene where he's doing the stunt where he's hitting the rock on fire and she's talking to him on the
yeah.
megaphone. It's like this scene is going forever.
It went
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very, very. That's a good example because it's like that. Very much like you could have easily had like cut after cut after cut of him hitting the rock. And I
Yeah.
expected him to do that,
Yeah.
but she just kept talking on the megaphone. I was like, "We're okay. This is where we're going. This is interesting." Like, I don't think it didn't feel bad, but it just felt so off. I was like, "This is strange." but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because I like when movies like take their time with scenes, and sometimes it worked here. Sometimes they went just a little too far, but I don't think they ever went like way too far. It's just a little bit, just like you could have shortened that like a minute, kind of. But yeah, it's very just an enjoyable like kind of afternoon kind of like movie watch, and actually like Ryan Gosling was pretty good in it. I think he's probably better at comedy than he is at drama because I wasn't like a big fan of his dramatic acting, but he's pretty good in this. But yeah, it's just a very fun movie and not anything like special or anything, but it's just enjoyable. And I do like how it sort of like appreciates stuntmen more because a lot of time Hollywood doesn't. So
That line's like, oh, is there an Oscar for stuntman?
Oh,
Stuntman?
yeah.
yeah,
No, there's not.
Even that line itself was so long. Like you just held on it for a minute.
Oh, yeah.
Another reason why I thought that Tom Cruise was going to be the guy at the end, which I'm like, I don't know if they're trying to poke fun at Tom Cruise or like bring him in on the joke, but like they call him Tom Ryder is Aaron Taylor Johnson's character, and so that's why I expected so much of Tom Cruise to be at the end, but he wasn't.
Nah,
Sad.
so sad. Couldn't afford him. Yeah, it was a popcorn movie, definitely. I don't think I'd want to see this movie again, but
Weird bit of trivia. I ate more popcorn in this movie than I have in a long time. I had 3 bowls.
Is that true?
Oh.
What?
It's Thomas
It's on the
trivia.
bingo card. How many popcorn bowls is Thomas eat?
Oh, sorry, yeah. It's just I just kept ordering popcorn. I'm like, this is really good.
Well, it is a
granted, I hadn't
popcorn
eaten all- It is a popcorn movie, a literal popcorn movie. So
And a very
Yeah,
bad bathroom needing by the end of the movie.
We were going into the movies, and I'm like, this movie's 2 hours long. Why is it this long? Should have
It
been
should
an
have
hour and
been-
a half.
Yeah.
Yeah, an hour 40 at like the most.
Yeah. Yeah, it would have suited definitely to be like an hour 25, hour 30. It would be perfect, I feel like.
Yeah. I think they love, you could tell they love stunts because they ticked
Mhm.
off like all the stunt boxes in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
oh, that car chase scene was pretty crazy. The one
Yeah.
Yeah.
the
That was a big
We were
one.
good, and then you just like disappeared.
Yeah, I saw Thomas did this and he like bowed his head and then froze. And I looked at you guys and I was like, oh, they're not laughing. It's me.
no, I'm just ashamed. Like, oh no. So,
So, like I said, they really ticked off like all the boxes of stuntman history. The boat thing where he like jumps and hits the
Mhm.
gas. That's like
Mhm.
the Miami Vice Universal show. If you ever went to that, it's like the same thing. Ryan Gosling's way too young to have worked on Miami Vice. He
Yeah.
was talking about the
Yeah.
movie.
although
But yeah-
Alamo did have a preview of the Miami Vice live show. It was pretty cool.
Yeah,
Like,
I went
kind
to
of-
it when I was really young in
Mm.
California, but I remember it was really cool. Ryan Gosling, like Jonah said, I like him in comedy better. He plays a bimbo, a man bimbo, like perfectly with like Ken in this. Him crying to Taylor Swift
Yeah,
in the
that's pretty
truck
good.
was hilarious.
That was a good scene. That was a really
Takes
good
his jacket
scene.
and rubs his whole face.
Like,
Uh,
you crying? No.
Lots of good jokes. My favorite one was this guy that gives him the car. You don't even see the guy.
Yeah.
And he's like, you stuntmen destroy everything I hold dear.
I know. He's so offended for his props.
Oh, man. And then the karaoke stuff was fun. Jared didn't see it when made me mad because she sings Phil Collins.
Mhm.
Against
Take a
all
look at
odds.
me now.
Yeah.
And they always give me crap for liking that song. And Jared didn't give-
It's not
if
a
you-
bad song.
if he was here, he'd probably give me crap about it. But
Dang.
yeah. Like you guys said, the pacing was off. The ending I thought was way too long. Like I said,
Yeah.
I thought I expected it to end, and then they had this rumble with all this
It
stuff.
kept
man.
going.
It's like okay. But yeah, they like you,
Even the explosions kept going off. I was just like, good lord. Like when the helicopter's trying to like land and go up
Yeah.
and down, it's like do. I'm like, oh my god. So
yeah, and if you watch the after credits, Thomas, you'll have to get another ticket because there's more explosions.
True.
Do you want to know?
yeah, I'm not going back.
You got to go back for more popcorn.
You got to break your world record like they did with the flips of the car.
2 minutes.
All right, super spoiler. So it's basically it tells you what happened after the movie to the bad guys. So Gale and Aaron Taylor Johnson's character, and the joke is he's like looking for cell coverage, and he goes out to this field, but the field says no cell phones, live explosions, or something like
Pyrotechnics.
that.
Yeah.
And he's like 3 bars, and then he blows up. He like totally blows up.
Yeah.
It's like gone. But yeah, it's funny. I think my parents would like it.
Mhm.
It feels like a very like pre-COVID movie. In like those movies, like kind of like 21 Jump Street or not.
Mhm.
That was
Mhm.
rated R, but something like that, where these movies based on shows that are just comedies.
Mhm.
It felt like that. The chemistry was good, like you said. And yeah, you guys took like all my materials. So.
I will say, as much as there is unrealistic things in this this movie, right? The most unrealistic thing is that they had way too many guns for Australia. They're not allowed there.
True.
Yeah, who
They
was
did
this
shoot
militia
blanks.
group that was just always with him?
That was like his that was like
That's
his
half the
private
budget.
security. But I was like, dude, you take this way too seriously.
They had like military grade stuff, vests on, like a giant.
Oh, that's what I was
ginger
going to
man.
say with the pacing. So the movie's going right, and he gets the mission to go and rescue the dude, and he does it. So I'm like, okay, this is the action part of the movie. But then it stops, and he like goes back and talks to them, and they like,
Mhm.
it's like, what happened to the action? Why did we pause that? Oh man. So yeah, what else? The music was good. There was a lot of good
Yeah.
music in there. So yeah, just a fun time. If you want to have fun at the movies, you should go check this
popcorn.
out with popcorn. Lots of popcorn. Our theater, we went in the afternoon. Mostly older people. I'm guessing people who liked the show back in the 70s.
Yeah.
So.
My theater was very quiet, which is kind of sad because normally with a movie like this, you want everyone laughing. But there was like, I literally just got back. Ben and I went this afternoon because, like I said, I forgot probably 3 times that we were supposed to watch this movie. And then we went to dinner last night and Ben was like, hey, you want to go see The Fall Guy? I was like, I'm supposed to see that before tomorrow. He was like, let's go tomorrow afternoon. I was like, okay. But yeah, the only notable thing in my theater was, apart from, I do have to ask you guys a question before we end this about a bathroom scenario and what you would have done, but we'll get to that later. The only weird thing in my theater was because we went to Cinemark, and so Cinemark has the big recliners, and like normally you put your feet up and you'll kind of do this, and you're watching the movie. I look over, this lady had left, and her boy, and she's like trying to come back to her seat, and her like boyfriend, husband, whatever he was next to her, and she's like trying to shuffle, and I was like, "There's plenty of room. See, those are wide aisles." I look over, this man is down here with his legs out here. I was like, bro, can you even? Because there's a wall in front of us, so you can't even see the movie. like his head was literally tucked against his chest. So he was so low, and then finally she's in front of him, and she's shuffling for like a good 3 or 4 seconds, and he finally pushes himself up. I was like, Jesus, dude, gonna make her go around.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, older people. But Despicable Me, man, that's gonna make money because they cracked up at the trailer, man.
Yeah, they were laughing so hard. Good Lord. Speaking of 21 Jump Street, Channing Tatum, did you guys have 2 trailers for him? Because we had 2 trailers for 2 different movies.
We didn't have any.
We have one for him.
Really? Yeah, there were 2. And Ben was like, if the first trailer comes on, Ben was like, well, I haven't seen him in a minute. And then the next trailer starts and it's him. Ben was like, Tatum comeback? Excuse me?
What was he in, Jonah?
I don't know.
We didn't have it.
Astronaut movie was the only one I saw.
The astronaut movie where it's like faking the moon landing, and then with what was that? Scarlett Johansson, and then what was the second one? Oh, it's where they all go to his like private. He's a billionaire and he like has a private party on his island or whatever the heck it is. But it turns out that everyone's like losing their memories from drugs or something. It's one of those like kind of like tense. I almost said AW.
A24.
A24. Thank you, dear Lord. A24 kind of like mystery tense movies is what it seems like. Kind of like Midsommar or something like that. That's what it feels like. But just a billionaire's house and everyone's there and then everyone starts losing their minds. Interesting.
Yeah. Glass Onion or something.
Yeah.
Michael, what happened in the bathroom?
I was saying we get to it, but I can do it now if you would like. It's just a question for you guys of what you would have done in the scenario. So like I said at the end of the movie,
run.
I really, 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 really had to go to the bathroom. So I'm basically like power walking to the bathroom. And we get in there, and so there's 4 regular urinals, no walls. It's just the urinals, and you're free and open. And so there's 4 regular ones, then the little baby tiny one, which no one wants to go to because you don't want to be seen going to the little baby tiny one. So I'm thinking, okay, there's a man in the first urinal. So there's 3 open ones. I take the furthest 4th one. Ben takes the 3rd one. That's my scenario, brain scenario. Like, we know each other. We'll piss next to each other. We've known each other for more than half our lives. It's fine. So I go all the way to number 4. And I start peeing, and then as I'm peeing, I realize there's no one next to me. So I kind of shift a little bit,
lean down,
make sure I'm not like obviously looking, but I look and Ben's peeing next to the stranger in urinal 1, and so he finishes, and I was there throughout all their pees because I had to go so badly. Then we get outside. Well, first of all, I walk out of the bathroom, and then as this guy's walking in, as I'm walking out, I just hear him go, "Oh, that's good, so good," and he shuts the bathroom door. I was like, I don't know what that man had, but it was good. So we get outside, and then Ben just goes, "You effed me! You effed me!" I was like, "What? What do you mean I effed you?" He's like, "You took the furthest urinal." I was like, "Of course, you were supposed to take the one next to me." He's like, "No." He's like, "You take the middle one, I take the other middle one. We split 2 urinals." I was like, "No one wants to go in the tiny one at the very end. I was taking the 2 far adult urinals. We're not taking the children one." So Ben felt that I screwed him in this scenario, and I should have gone man, urinal, man. And
I mean,
so
there's only 5.
What would you?
There's only 5 total. There's 5 total urinals. 1 being the kiddie one, right?
1 being the kiddie one, and
then
the
kiddie
first
one.
4, the first one's occupied. So I took so the man is in the pinky, and then the baby urinal's 5, the thumb. And so I would have
gone. Yeah, I would have gone
Or
to
4.
3.
I went to 4, and then Ben
Oh,
took
you went
2.
to 4.
Oh wait, no,
I
so
would have
Nancy, I'm confusing
gone-
myself.
Yeah, the middle one.
I would have gone to 3. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so baby urinal, man. I went here. Ben went here.
Yeah, that's weird. It's weird that Ben went there.
That's what
Yeah.
I said. I was like, why would you not be next to me? And so he thought I should have gone baby urinal so he could go middle of the
No,
3
no,
open
no,
urinals.
no.
You
That's
don't
what he
have to
thought.
take
No.
baby urinal.
I was like,
It
why
was
did
a
I take
little-
the baby urinal.
It was a little weird that you went to 4.
Yeah.
So where would
I
have
would have went to 3.
and make Ben
Uh,
split the choice? I feel like it
yeah.
was kinder to go to
Yeah.
4 because then it gives him that spot.
See, that's what I would have done. Yeah, that's what I would.
Because then I'm not like
because at
And then-
the most, if you're not next to your buddy, you try to go as far away from the person
yeah.
as
That's
you
what,
can.
that was my
So
thought.
if it's like buddy, or sorry, if it's stranger buddy, you go next to the buddy. You don't get next to the guy, which is
Yeah.
weird that he went to that
He
one.
went-
Yeah.
I was like, he's peeing next to that man.
I was gonna say, he's like, you asked me. He's like, dude, you just messed with that guy's head.
I was like, I
Like,
don't
why
know.
did he pee next to me?
That man's like, because Ben was like, well, we walked in together. I didn't want to pee together. I'm like, what do you mean? That means we know each other. And then Ben was
We're
like,
supposed to share a stall.
so Ben said he was on the literal edge of the stall, peeing away from this man. I was
It
confused. I
could
was
be.
like, I don't feel
It
like I
could
was
be
in the wrong
so
here.
much worse, though, Michael.
Yeah, it could
Because if
be.
you go to movie 16 and you go to that urinal like spot, it's the 3
No,
the
that's
3 walls, right?
Back to
that was
back.
real
Yeah,
bad.
the 3 walls, and there's like 4 urinals right next to each other,
Yeah.
but they are not
Those are
spaced
intense.
apart.
Yeah, they do have
just
like,
like-
wider walls, so you can kind of tuck into the urinal. These are just the
Yeah,
tiny, like,
exactly.
half ovals.
Yeah,
Well,
it's like
you guys
hello.
weren't public school, so it gets real tricky in public school because sometimes you just got this like trough to pee in.
Yeah.
Everyone just has to pee there.
Yeah, that was.
But
I
yeah,
remember when I was
that
taking my
scenario.
SATs, and like it was like 30 guys in one bathroom, and I was just like, well, there's no shyness here because I have to go. One guy each time got into the urinal. It's like, and you had like 30 guys looking at you, going like, well,
I would have
There you
gone.
go.
Here's why I would have gone to 3 too. If you go to 3, it gives Ben the option to take the baby urinal.
True.
If he wants
Okay,
to.
okay.
If he wants to separate.
If I
but that's a
wanted-
Ben
that's-
only scenario though. That's not a general scenario.
That's true. I could have given the option to take baby urinal. That's true. I could have
Because
done
if
that.
I was peeing at the baby urinal, that would look even weirder. Like honestly,
But I just feel like taking
Sometimes you got to use that baby urinal, man.
if at all costs, yes, but you have 2 other options open. Because I've had to pee in the baby urinal before, and it feels weird. But that's because I had to go, and all 4 were taken.
just go
Have you ever
down.
had it where like the kid is at the adult urinal and there's the baby
Yes.
urinal?
I'm like, hold on a second, son. Push him over.
I know. I'll be like talk to his dad, like, "Sir, control your child."
Must be this side of ride.
Yeah.
Well, that was a very weird ending to this episode. But it started off with us reviewing the Fall Guys. So
That's true.
check it out.
I just wanted to get your opinions on if I was in the wrong there or not. But
I
I'm
don't think
glad
so.
you did.
I think Ben was weird to pee next to the stranger.
I think
Yeah.
so too.
I'm on-
I
Ben
think it
did
was
the
weird.
very weird thing.
Oh my gosh.
He goes next to the stranger.
That poor guy's probably like, why, man? You got 2 other urinals.
You come here often? Yeah, me too.
Oh man.
It's like he didn't want to be that close to you. That's
We were just sitting in the theater, literally parted by this big of an armrest. That was it for 2 hours. But he didn't want to pee next to me. I'm offended.
All right. So for more crazy takes like that, subscribe to the channel, give us some likes, and notify yourself for even more good stuff to come. And we will see you next time. Bye.
Recording